Hello, my name is Chris Moss. I'll be your instructor for your Math 13 Elementary Statistics course. Welcome to your course. What I'd like to do today is to introduce you to your Canvas course shell. I know many of you have already used Canvas, but I still want everyone to participate in the discussion and the assignments that we've got set up for you. This way we can all refresh our skills and you'll be all ready to go when we get to the good stuff in another week and a half or so. So please follow me while I share my screen. And there we go. So when you click into the Canvas course shell for any of my statistics courses, you'll see something that looks very, very much like this. As you may or may not know, the things to do are over here on the right. It's a very nice little list. Excuse me, it works well. Shows you what's coming up in the next week or so. The left, I call these tabs. They allow you to navigate through your Canvas course shell. I'll go through everything that we'll need today to get you started for your first assignment. So one of the first things to do is to take a look at the syllabus. So when I click on the syllabus, what I do get is, well, the course syllabus. I won't read it to you right here and right now. That's going to be your job, but I will go ahead and scroll through that course syllabus. It encompasses how we grade, learning outcomes, what we offer in way of support, online courses and the like. We have some details, and we have a little bit of information about our assessments. Now, once we've dealt with all of this and read all of this, we can go ahead and take a look at where we'll be doing a lot of our work. Pretty much everything will focus on the modules tab. The modules tab is going to give you access to all your assignments, the materials you will need, as well as quizzes and the like. So when you log in, you're going to see part 0. This is our first assignment, and it's an introduction to Canvas. And I want to run through all of these at some level of detail to get you guys familiar with the material. So the first thing in every little group is the actual assignment. So when I click on chapter 0, Introduction to your Canvas course cell assignment, this is what I see. I have a video. In fact, it's going to be this very video. It's going to be available right there. We have some tasks. We have some submissions to make, and I'll run through how to do that. And we have some assessments and some discussions. I will note that in the lower right-hand corner is a next button. That brings me to the next item in that particular module. If I need to go back, I can certainly go ahead and go back and take a look at the previous page. So as I do that, I want to take a look at my tasks. I want to note that I'll need to read the syllabus and read the challenges of online learning. That's that second piece that we just saw momentarily. We have a video. You're going to want to view the video. And we have a mandatory discussion. And I want to run through all of these. You can see that we've got a Start Assignment button up here in the upper right-hand corner. I'll note that one of the things that we want to be able to do is to go ahead and submit an image. It can be any image, your favorite image. It's really up to you. So when I click Start Assignment, I will note that I am offered the option to upload a file. If I click Upload a File, I'm offered the ability to choose a file. So I'll go into my, in this case, my pictures, and I'll pick, well, pretty picture. Here's a flower. I like flowers. So I'll open that, and I will submit the assignment. Usually this works. By the way, if you do get, let's see, look at all the confetti. If you do get blowback from your attempt to go ahead and submit an image, don't freak out. I'm very, very lenient with this kind of stuff. If you're trying it and I can't help you get it up and running, go ahead and you'll be able to submit them via email. But in general, this is much quicker and easier, and it's really the way you want to do it. So I'm off to next. This is my challenges of online learning. As an online class, we really do face lots of challenges. We need to be open-minded. We need to be able to communicate. Self-motivation cannot be overemphasized. The ability to speak up if you're having issue with the technology or the material is vital here. You need to be willing to commit 4 to 15 hours a week, and it's more like 15 to 20 for a course such as this. There are minimum requirements for the program. The fact that you are enrolled in this particular course means you meet the minimum requirements there. You need to be able to think before responding, and you need to acknowledge and work towards the notion that quality learning can take place online. It's not a crapshoot. It really is up to us to make this work. Now, once I've done taken care of all of that, I can move on to the next item. In this case, it's a quiz. The quiz, I'll be going over the quizzes in more detail on some of my videos and presentations, but your quizzes are done online, and I'll have more to say about the actual doing online of the quizzes in a little bit. I will note that this particular quiz is worth 10 points. It is due September 4th, and it becomes available September 3rd. They become available in the very early morning hours of September 3rd, and it's available until very late on the 4th. We have a time limit of 45 minutes, and we have you take 3 attempts should you feel you need them. Now, I can't look at that quiz yet because it's not available yet. But I can move on to the discussion. So we'll have several points in the semester where we want to partake in a discussion. In particular, this time, we want you to do a couple of things. There's some topics I would like you to address in this initial discussion. I'd like to know your name. I'd like you to share any previous online learning experiences, good or bad, you may have had. And after reading those challenges of online learning, I'd like you to offer up 2 of the biggest challenges you think you might face this semester. This is a mandatory discussion. It'll be due on the 5th, that's Sunday late, and anyone who does not participate in the discussion will be dropped from the course as a no-show. So one of the ways I ensure that people stay involved is to have these mandatory discussions from time to time. So you'll very much want to do that, and I'll probably poke at you a couple of times during the first week just to make sure everyone's on board with all of that. So I have a place to put a reply, and I can go ahead and type whatever it is I want. I will also note that we have what we call the rich text editor. It enables me to put in pictures and do other various different sort of things. I can even mess around with some equations. But at the end of the day, that's really what you want to do. So let me come back to modules. That really runs through the first of your sets of assignments. That takes you up through Sunday, late PM. At some point during the first week, I'll make the next module available, and we'll set dates for that. I'm going to stop sharing the screen now, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So that is your tour of your Canvas course shell. I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. There will be more videos available. They're embedded throughout the course. It's very much a hands-on course. The calculator really makes all the difference in the world. Thank you, and goodbye.